Alright, welcome back everyone. So today got sent a submission from JD ANSP. Some of you may know him as one of the top players of Ark Nova, though rumors are that he might be washed, but also he seems to have found his groove back, might win another arena season, so we will have to see how he does in Ark Nova. But in the meantime, he seemed to take a little bit of a palate cleanser from Ark Nova in order to play this Terraforming Mars game. In the past, JD was up there amongst the top Terraforming Mars rankings as well, but has since fallen, and I think we can look at this game to find some areas where JD can definitely improve in his gameplay. He likes to be a little bit sarcastic to some of the people he watches, so it's a fun opportunity to get to be a little sarcastic back to him, but I will try and be positive and helpful as is my usual style, but you might notice some sarcasm slip through every now and then. Alright, so looking at his hand, let's first talk about the format. It is just base and prelude format, nothing crazy. Looking at his hand, I only see Security Fleet as a titanium card, so Phobolog is out. I see a mining guild with a experimental forest, with a research outpost, with a lava tube settlement, and I go, yeah, we're definitely going mining guild with this one. What preludes would you go as mining guild? I think there's only one clear answer, and that is experimental forest and supplier. Anything else is simply wrong. Why do I say it is wrong? Is because Mining Guild loves power. Mining Guild cannot get enough power. If you can take power as Mining Guild for the love of all that is good, please take that power. And also Experimental Forest, one of the best preludes in the game. Progress towards Gardener on the Tharsis board. Gets you 2 plant tags, which are on average good cards, and it is a tile for Mining Guild, so we can just go ahead and get some more steel production. Looking at our cards, I think you definitely want to take Industrial Center because it is a steel tile. Then obviously Research Outpost, one of the best cards in the game. Again, a steel tile. Energy tapping is a must because when you're a mining guild, you always take all the energy you can find. You can never have such thing as too much energy with mining guild. Thread, even when I have 20 energy production, okay, at 20 you might be okay, but I mean, even then it can turn into heat, so never is such a thing as too much energy production. You skip Security Fleet because if you are new to the channel, I will explain why. Security Fleet is a trap card. It is 15 mega credits for the opportunity to be able to pay 3 mega credits for 1 point. That basically means that you are making 2 mega credits of profit on the 5 mega credits per victory point in-game ideal. That means that it will take you 8 uses of Security Fleet to kind of break even for the cost of the card, which means that you are going to be using that earlier in the game, which is not good because earlier VP is worth like 2 mega credits or so. So if you're spending 3 mega credits when it's really worth 2, you're overpaying on the mega credits, and so as a result, this card just very rarely ever has the chance to be good. You either need significant space discounts, you have no cards in your hand, and you just need to find a way to score points in some fashion, or you got a bajillion D titanium prod. Like that's basically it. Just not that good a card. Ants is too specific in this format to really be worth speculating on at the beginning. Building Industries, some of you might want to take Building Industries. The reason you don't is because you're already Mining Guild. We're already going to be swimming in titanium with our 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles that we're going to be getting. So we're already at 5 steel prod. We don't need to go up to 7 steel prod, especially at the cost of an energy, which, like I said, Mining Guild wants energy. Greenhouses is a no-brainer. Lots of steel means probably lots of cities, and so we're going to use that to take advantage. Then Lava Tube Settlement. I'm normally not very high on this card, but given we're Mining Guild, given its progress towards Mayor, and given that it comes with an extra steel prod as well, I think it's good here. Breathing Filters a little too expensive to speculate on with the low starting cash of Mining Guild. So Industrial Center, Research Outpost, Energy Tapping, Greenhouses, Lava Tube Settlement with Supplier, and Experimental Forest is the correct picks. Objectively correct. Let's see what JD does. Objectively wrong. Objectively wrong. Biosphere Support is not a good prelude. If we had NRA, you could make the argument for it because it'd be our third plant tag, but we don't. I would not take this card, but it's -1 MC prod just to get some 2 plant prod at this stage. You are missing out on the supplier, which is far superior because it comes with energy, and the energy tapping is left behind as well, so we have no energy as mining guild. This is not how you want to play this corporation. This is clear, huge, gigantic mistake on mining guild's part here. Alright, our opponent is Saturn, kept 3 cards in their hand, so they didn't seem to have the best starting hand. Alright, so Experimental Forest. Where would you place Experimental Forest? Give you guys a chance to answer. So, I would put it probably right here on Tharsis, or Xanthi Terra. I don't know how you say that. Over here in this nice spot. Why? Because my rationale is I want to put that there. Then I want to put Research Outpost there. Then I would want to put Lava Tube Settlement there. And then I would want to Industrial Center there. And that way I've got 1, 2, 3 sections of the board already covered with plans to go down here in the future. That'd be my play. The other alternatives, you could go down here with it and then city and city up here. But the reason I'm not quite as big of a fan of that is because this is the better spot for getting plant rebates. This is the better spot for getting steel. We don't need steel that much because we're already going to be rolling in our 5 production of steel. So I would go over here with it. JD goes here, which I think is a misplay, but not a huge misplay. Why do I think it's a misplay? It's because where are we putting the research outpost now? I'm not wanting to put a city right here. That's just stupid. So we're going to be putting it like here, but in that case we're not getting the steel prod. Or we could put research outpost here, but again we're not getting steel prod. We don't want to put it here because that's where we're putting our lava tube settlement. So our research outpost can't go on a mineral that makes a lot of sense. You can put it here, but that's kind of depressing. So I don't like having the city there on the rim when you could have it in a better spot to score more greenery points. Got kelp and mangrove. They're fine. Plant tags, not like amazing, but I mean kelp is, but we still need to find oceans. Biosphere support. Blech, where's my supplier? Opponent plays you into my contractor, which is one of the best preludes in the game because in addition to just getting 3 production, you also get 3 victory points and a card, which is quite nice. And then they play, look at that, Martian Industries. Geez, if only someone had taken an energy tapping that they could immediately play in order to get energy in order to play a card like Lava Tube Settlement. But we didn't. So we're going to play Research Outpost on the steel, which now means where are we putting the Lava Tube Settlement? We can't put this on steel anymore, which is just sad. Industrial Center there is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I do have a problem with not being able to put Lava Tube Settlement on steel anymore. Okay, so if opponent is Saturn, they play Beam from a Thorium Asteroid. That is a strong setup for them. Just having heat taken care of goes a long way towards making a lean start like this much more competitive. Alright, both pass. Look right there. Right there we have an immigrant city. We could have used this in order to have maximized our monopolization of the board. Even could put it down here on the steel if we really wanted to, but I don't think we really want to. And then just boom, boom, boom. Got all the prime real estate locked up with the immigrant city. Life is good. And for the record, you don't play Lava Tube Settlement immediately. You play the Research Outpost first. Lava Tube Settlement comes this gen when you have the steel. Though you could argue you would play Immigrant first, then Lava Tube Settlement. I don't think it matters too much. I would probably do Lava Tube Settlement first just because it comes with extra production. Immigrant City comes with minus production, so wait on that until another time. But it's all academic anyway because we don't have power because we didn't take any power cards. Anyway, take Immigrant City here. The other cards are not really that interesting and or valuable. Everyone say it with me. Tundra Farming is a bad card. We're not interested in Tundra Farming. Alright. GHG Factories is a card that I would very much like to take, and I would very much like to play if we had energy, but we don't. But I still would not give him GHG Factories because he already has a good amount of heat and energy prod, and I'm not looking to make it easier for him in order to have a lean game plan with his 3 cards in hand. Definitely cut GHG Factories. Unfortunately, JD takes Space Station, which I think is a clear mistake. Space Station is not very good for our opponent because he has 3 cards in his hand. What is he looking to really discount? GHG is fantastic for our opponent. It lets him do what he already wants to do, which is invest in heat. So, clear mistake there. Micro Minerals is garbage, so we'll take Terraforming, but we ain't keeping it. Lake Marineris, on the other hand, I think I would consider keeping because we just gave him GHG Factories. He's going to have a ton of heat. He can fly this game if the cards work out. And Lake Marineris is a nice ocean payoff if the heat flies and we don't find oceans, which helps us hedge with our kelp farming, because we want oceans to come quickly with kelp farming, but if they don't, well, at least we have the comfort of Lake Marineris to play instead. So I would take Immigrant and Lake here. Instead, we skip Lake for an inexplicable space station, which just is not going to do much for us at this point, I think. Opponent does Strip Mine, which is, fine. I do think that the GHG Factories might have been better for their game plan, but let's check out the heat breakpoint here. So we're getting 7, 10, 14 if we played that. So it doesn't make us miss out on an immediate conversion. And we are getting a nice 4, 7, 9 prod. So, yeah, okay. I can justify the strip mine there. Earth Office is an interesting play. I don't understand why you're playing it now. You could always find... by giving away information like that, you make it so that plans can change. I was going to say maybe you could find a payoff for a better way to make it better, but you can't. Anti-Grav is not going to come down before Earth Office, and you play Earth Office before Earth Catapult. But now JD knows that you want Earth tags, and so now he sees an acquired company or a sponsors, he's going to be more likely to take that to deny the value from your Earth Office. And my dog decided now is the time to go tap dancing all around the house. Sorry about the clickety-clack. Then JD does SP Ocean, which, I'll be honest, this is a garbage move. This is absolutely horrible. He does it here on Titanium just to increase his steel production. Brother, you already have 4 steel production that we can't really even use right now. Why are we SPing an Ocean to get the steel production up even further? I'm assuming it's to work towards the kelp farming, but that's just not good. If anything, you would SP on the 2 cards to try and find some cards to continue to develop with. But developing with this, while it's not awful, it is technically money efficient. Because Mining Guild, you are overpaying by 4 on the standard project, but you're getting 2 production. 2 production is worth 7, in terms of steel is worth 7 mega credits. Look at mine to see why. So you're technically coming out 3 mega credits ahead with this play. So it's not an awful play if you can use the steel, but we can't use the steel. So in that opinion, that makes it awful because it's essentially just overpaying by 4 for no real reason. Alright, everyone passes, and we go on to look at this setup. So, we are against the Saturn. AMC exists. We don't necessarily want to play AMC against the Saturn. However, if we pass the AMC, we're not ever playing Titanium Prod because we don't want to get hit by the AMC. So, this is a little committal here. Also, we have to be slightly worried about any mults that he might have. AMC does count as, points towards multipliers, which could be scary. But at the same time, science could be a threat. Science could be good for us. This does draw us a card, which is nice. Mining Guild loves drawing cards. So I think I would take Lagrange over AMC, but we're just saying we're never ever getting Titanium by making that play. Which JD does, and I think that's okay. And now a lava flows. Golly gee, I sure wish we hadn't clogged up our nice conversions up here for lava flows to go on get us some more steel prod, but okay, you know, we already have enough steel prod. We can just do it on a card or 2 plants, not a big deal. Also, this ocean would be nice to, you know, get 2 cards instead of the SP ocean we did earlier. But hey, we're not laying blame. I would take lava flows here, take away some of your opponent's points in the heat track since they've invested in some heat prod. He takes the reservoir, which I think is wrong. Like, yeah, 2 cards is nice and all, but lava flows is the more impactful card. These cards both suck, so take Steelworks. Yeah, and Moss comes back, so interesting. Opponent predictably takes lava flows, so Subres does help a little bit with turning on Moss, but we're not going to be SPing in Ocean to do so. I would take Lagrange, Reservoir, and Moss. And I guess since we bought Reservoir, we can go ahead and just play it on the 2 cards. Though I hate we're kind of floating the plants. Better lucky than good to get an Earth Cat from playing the Subres. Yeah, it's pretty lucky. Opponent plays Lava Flows, makes sense. Probably on the card if I had to guess. Yeah. And they can raise heat to raise their heat prod. Seems good. Now they're at a good heat threshold to get 8 heat for another heat raise next gym. Another reason why I think Lava Flows was the better card over Subres, but hey, get bailed out sometimes. Alright, so we have 16 steel, which we've not been able to use because we did not take power, and we have a great use for it, but it again requires power. Obviously, we're going to use the Electrocat, but it sure is unfortunate the way that our power situation is working out here. You take Predators here. Oxygen might raise faster than Heat. Predators is a pretty good card. Magnetizer, hilarious. Like, we have excess power that we need to spend. And Martian Rails is just a meme card. Don't pick it. Dude, you don't take a card that takes away your power when you're mining guild because you need all the power you can get, as already evidenced by the fact that we have 3 power cards in our hand that we can't use. And you want to know what? I bet you he's thinking I'm going to take solar power and I'm so big brained, ignoring the fact that this just sucks compared to even like an SP power. It's okay because we got 16 steel sitting around, but like you want to take indentured workers, but I get the feeling we're going to take solar power. Golly. Just the pain that you can experience by just misplaying the draft like that. Already evident. And I'm hoping that what this does is it drills into everyone's heads why you should always get power as mining guild when you can. So yeah, I guess we're taking solar power and Electrocat, and the rest of this is just kind of garbage. Martian Rails is kind of funny with mining guild when we have all this steel, but the reality is we don't have the power to support it, so I would not buy it. Okay, opponent does play the GHG factory, so they're at now a nice 8 heat again. So, yeah, I think that Thermalist fund is a little early. I mean, I guess he's seeing JD's 16 steel and is like, better fund that before he gets miner. But, I mean, the Thermalist is what you kind of invested your money into. I would not want to kind of lock it up by having to fight for an award this early on, personally. Yeah, the Earth catapult into the solar power, into the electro catapult, into selling it. So he's got -3. So, I mean, already this is a very dominant position because he's better lucky than good. But I think here you gotta hope for some card draw because without card draw, if your opponent finds card draw, you're in the position of tons of steel, tons of discounts, no cards, no money, and that's not a place you really want to be. So let's see. Well. Here's some power. So on the one hand, pets can be really good when you're mining guild, and we have 2 cities already, so I certainly don't hate pets. But solar wind power is again a science tag, and it's power, and it's one of those cards that I think I would regret passing if my opponent has a science payoff. So I would still take solar wind power with the caveat of that pets is really good. Yeah. Uh, we certainly do not need more steel, so I would take urbanized areas. That's a card that can be a little annoying. And the pets comes back. That's quite interesting. I don't think Lunar Beam was the correct pick for our opponent here, though they are trying to maybe starve out the power starved mining guild, so it makes some sense. But I think pets is quite good here. I would keep it in this situation with -3. So I would do Solar Wind, Urbanized, and pets. Yeah, I agree with that draft. Okay, Biosphere is finally doing something, so we can go ahead and convert it. And I guess just put it right there. Save that to hope for like an ocean adjacency bonus or something. Okay, right there is fine too. Work towards the oceans. Sure. I think it's fine either way. I don't think that matters very much. I'm not aligned with rushing out the pets. Like, I'm not convinced our opponent is looking to play a city immediately or anything. If I thought they were, I'd probably try and work towards playing Immigrant City first, over pets. I would have delayed that a little bit. I would probably go with the space station, solar wind power, Lagrange, try and find some direction with our discounts, and then assuming I don't find anything, plan on pets in some cities. But Arctic algae. So our opponent has incentive to place oceans, which is good for us because of kelp farming, but bad because Arctic algae is one of the strongest cards in the game. Giant Space Mirror is interesting. He either wants it to roll over as power to heat, or he's looking to play a bumper, which I'm not sure which, but interesting. Yeah, Space Station to Electrocat, sure. Opponent takes his heat prod, makes sense. Solar Wind into... Dude. Dude, are we serious here? We're really playing Immigrant City in that location just to get more steel prod? We don't think that we already have enough issues using all of our steel? Yeah, I don't like that one iota. Opponent gets to play that sweet indentured workers for an underground city. Okay, I'm not convinced underground city is very good for him either. I guess that's what the energy was for. So he could play Underground City, so I guess JD got his pets and Immigrant City value, so big brain maybe? Or, great minds think alike or something like that. I do like his placement a lot better than JD's, though. That's a nice place to put his city. Lets him place oceans and get the rebates with the Arctic algae. SP power. Well. If only we had an extra 3 power right now. Lava tube settlement. Yeah. We're still paying with it all steel, so it's okay, but we had to SP the power for it, which is not okay. And this place only gets 3 adjacencies next to it. It'd be much better if we could have put it up there, etc., etc. You all know why I hate his play there. Imported hydrogen is fantastic. I'm loving Saturn's position if we had a little bit more plant prod. The downside of what he's doing is he's working towards that kelp farming, which is kind of bad for him, but considering that we're looking like we're going to take Builder and Mayor and maybe Gardener, it's hard to see a world where Saturn has time to not get locked out of the milestones. And with the third ocean, JD does get to play Moss, which is nice. Okay. We need power. There is power. You take the artificial photosynthesis, and opponent probably takes trees, and we probably take... Gosh, you take cloud seeding? Artificial lake ain't bad, but might just be cloud seeding, honestly. Cloud seeding first pick? Are you kidding me? You're offered power and you say no? Power with a science tag on top of that? Oh my goodness gracious. Uh, that is wrong. I will be nice and say that is wrong. You don't want to give your opponent with Arctic Algae a cheap ocean, so we will take flooding. Okay, or we just give him a cheap ocean so he can get conversions, and we don't have better control over our kelp farming coming out. So sure, let's take the garbage plantation that the opponent can't even play because they got 0 science tags. Uh, Shockingly, they took power infrastructure? Is that right? No. It was artificial photo. That's what the card was. Yeah, so that's not too surprising. Artificial photo makes some sense. I'm a little surprised that they didn't take trees, but I mean I'm surprised by the cloud seeding, so I think that's what threw off my whole evaluation here. Uh, I would take the trees over the artificial lake. While artificial lake is good, it's not good enough to miss out on the big upside of trees when your opponent is pushing heat like they are. Okay, and there's the power infrastructure. Okay, I was like, I knew I saw that card. Uh, you know, I'm not against playing the cloud seeding necessarily. I just wouldn't have first picked it. Um, if you take all 3, that leaves us at 20. We can sell the steel and fund 2 things, but maybe our opponent, since we gave him flooding, is capable of taking Terraformer, which is unfortunate if they can. But maybe they have like Deimos or GIA as well, and they take Terraformer anyway. Yeah, I would take trees for sure. I guess I would take plantation since we have a city down here on some steel or something. Cloud seeding, probably still a keep because we have -3, but otherwise, probably not. Okay, yeah, flooding takes more of our precious cash, which hurts. Only there was some way we could have prevented that. Okay, release of inert gases. That is probably one of the best cards JD could have seen for him to take the Terraformer, but it does look like opponents getting Terraformer and we get Mayor and Builder. Yeah, Mayor and Builder claimed, Terraformer claimed, heat raised. JD gets to sell his steel, but he's basically done. More power comes again. It's not to play another underground city. Is this for the bumper that I hypothesized previously? Alright, there's that cloud seeding. Okay. So I really like algae, but I also really like Dome Crater because both of us have a bajillion D steel and no way of spending it. So as much as I like algae, I would take Dome Crater here. I think algae is wrong because Dome Crater is just such an efficient way for you both to spend your steel. Algae is like fine plant prod and all, but with kelp farming and trees and whatnot, I'm not convinced this is that much better. Mining rights is kind of criminal to skip as mining guild. And yet, what are we going to do with it? We passed AMC, so titanium's kind of a no-go. Soil factory, don't make me laugh. It requires power, and we need all the power we can get. I think you take the mass converter because we need all the power we can get, and Lagrange gets us to just 2 tags away. It's in the realm of possibility, so I would take mass here. Agreed. Toll station, 2 prod, who cares? I would take Lichen, just to prevent NRA value if our opponent has it. Since we took the algae, take the algae. I would even buy mass. I would consider speculating on it. Though we are quite broke, as we have not been able to develop very efficiently. Okay, so we convert on steel. I don't really like that play. Why do I not like it? It's because it makes it a little awkward for us next gen. I would have preferred over here to just get the plant already. I suppose what he's planning on doing is planning on playing Lichen, and then with Lichen he'll have the plants he needs to do a conversion into plantation next gen. But if opponent has a bumper here, things get a little awkward because then they could try and stall us out and use it. But we do have the plantation if they're sloppy and forget that we took it and take the oxygen bonus here. But when it gets to 6%, you should always be thinking about how do I take the 8% bonus. There is that domed crater. That is such a good card. Gets him up to 8 plants immediately, so he can plan on just converting. But knowing that he just passed plantation, I would probably not. Okay, he does. I think that's a mistake from the opponent. He should not just give away the 8% bonus when you know that you've given your opponent a plantation. So yeah, JD gets the oxygen bonus, which is fortunate for him. Heat Trappers is power and it hurts our opponent, so we're playing it, even though I think Gen 7 is a bit on the late side for it. Mining rights on titanium makes a lot of sense for opponent, followed by an asteroid mining. So, alrighty. They are definitely starting to play some Jobs. A little bit on the late side, but, I mean, they control the pace of the game by their dominance over the heat track. So I don't think that JD's able to push them out. So it makes sense to just develop. There does come the heat trappers, urbanized area. Like, it's not really the best urbanized area. I think that's jumping the gun. I'd have waited a little while to try and find a better urbanized area than that. Because you only got 2 adjacencies. You're missing out on the potential over here to score some points. Yeah, I think I'd have waited, but it's okay. Take the research coordination because it does get us even closer to that mass converter. Natural preserve isn't playable, so that is too expensive, and dust seals is not playable. Love the tech demo. Holy, it's free. We definitely play that. These don't matter. Take the natural preserve, I guess, just because the more upside. CEOs is 3 mega credits, and we don't have a real target for it. We have pets, but that's not really good enough, in my opinion. I would probably still take it, just because we don't have a lot to do right now, but it's not great. Since we have algae, this would be a scenario where you could consider just SP Ocean if Tech Demo whiffs, and then play algae, and then SP Ocean next gen, and play kelp farming and just work towards that payoff. Opponent draws a card, plays rover construction, so cities. Tech Demo gets us investment loan and sabotage. Boy, I'd like that media group right about now. Yeah, go ahead and get your extra point while you can, so we can't block you with a nuke zone or commercial district or something along those lines. Opponent does SP greenery, which I think is kind of strange. I don't really understand what the point of an SP greenery is right here. And raises heat. JD draws, gets Lagrange, with Lagrange, gets Miranda, which is okay. It's like 3 prod with research coordination, but gives your opponent prod as well, so I'm not like super crazy about it. It's a relatively cheap point if we need it. I do like playing Sabotage and just hitting their cash. Yeah, the SP Ocean I think makes sense when it turns on the algae. I don't like the greenhouses here. Like, it got us 6 plants, so we got a conversion, sure, but there's no like rush to get to 11% here. We're coming to first position next gen anyway, so I don't see the point. Oh man. So you really want Open City because we got a bajillion D steel, but you can't give the Saturn player with 3 Jobs already TG. That is just suicide. You take TG. Power. So we take geothermal because we need power. Instead, he takes a stupid import of advanced GHG, which, for what? For what? Why on earth do we want that dumb card? You think we're fighting Thermalist against this guy? You think that we want to invest in heat that's going to get us a heat raise in Gen 10, Gen 11, Gen 12, Gen 13? Oh, just Gen 13 till it pays off. Like, come on. Get the power. Use the power. Titanium Mine, we can't play because AMC. However, not really keen on letting him play Titanium Mine either, so I guess I'd still cut it. Not that it's good. Yeah, I would just take TG. I don't love it, but I would do it. Why would I take TG? It is a 4-point card. It is a 4-point card. I mean, no, I'm sorry. No, it's not even a 4-point card. It is a 5-point card. I forgot about the wild tag. So, 2 there, plus the TG is 3, plus the 2 VP. 5-point card for 31. Buddy, we got nothing in our hand, so definitely take that. The rest of this is not useful, so skip the rest. And he skips TG. I swear. We got nothing in our hand, so we're going to skip out on the 5-point card for 31. Yeah, that's just a clear blunder. Terrible. What? We're SPing a city? Oh my gosh. So, I don't have a huge problem with the SP city, but I'd have preferred we go with the kelp farming first and get our plant prod a little better before such an expensive committal. But there I'm okay with, because I do think we should find some cards. But personally, I'd have put it 1 up here, and then I'd have converted on the card. Personally, try and just get a little bit more space reserve, so opponent can't put cities in these areas if we're trying to fight for space. We get eco zone, so I mean that's pretty good. Trees, mangrove, kelp farming, but let's take a quiz, chat. Do you guys remember what card that we passed previously for the unbelievable value of Equatorial Magnetizer? Anyone remember? Yes, it is Predators. So, did our opponent keep Predators? We knew they kept some cards. Did they keep Predators? Not sure, but this Ecozone could be a liability if they did. Conversion there is fine, sure. Again, I'd have just done City and convert there, but whatever. Open City, yeah. They take a fantastic spot right there. So, unfortunate, but also justified. You can't have given them TG. Pets pay enough, though. I knew it was a good card. I just wouldn't have played it so early, but already 4 VP from that Pets. I don't think that Lunar Beam was worth that swing of points already. JD one actioning like a scoundrel. I would not do that in his position, but okay. And then opponent inexplicably does SP Ocean. I do not understand SP Ocean 1 iota. It gets him up to 10 plants, so he didn't need to do that to get to an extra conversion. All you're doing when you're at 5 oceans and going for 6 is helping your opponent play kelp farming. That is not in our best interest, so we just shouldn't do it. What we should do instead is SPA greenery, either here, here, or here. I probably would do here because I'm greedy like that. And then convert right here. And we get a nice 4MC back. And we take the remaining oxygen, which is one of JD's main ways of scoring here, which is definitely in our favor to just go ahead and monopolize. SP Ocean does not get you the last TR that you need, and it also makes it so that it gives JD a chance to take it, which is not what we want. I do like the placement. It does take the rebate and cuts him off from being able to play Ecozone there. But yeah, SP Greenery is the way that should have been played, in my opinion. So the Ecozone does come out. JD now gets to come over here and steal some ocean rebates and plants. Again, skipping like a scoundrel, but there's that predators. Wah, wah, wah. That ecozone is now getting destroyed. The evil corporations have unleashed the bears to destroy the wild, and yeah, it's gonna be a bad time for JD, and I don't think cutting Equatorial Magnetizer was worth it. Kelp farming does come down, and JD does get the last TR, so that is a 2-point swing. That's why the SP Ocean was so wrong, in my opinion. It let that happen. Imported nitrogen is nice. You do miss out on the micro, but it's fine. Problem is, it's just a little too late. You don't get the TR anymore, so that's unfortunate. Noctis farming here is probably a mistake. I don't know his hand, but you have 5 steel production, and you have 5 cards in hand. I'm not thinking there's too many more steel dumps in your hand, so you should use the steel to pay for Noctis farming next gen, as opposed to 10 of your precious money this gen. But conversion's nice. Heat's raised, and we move on. Alright. Well, our opponent has a bajillion D titanium, not many cards in hand. I don't think you want to give him the Phobos space station, or space haven, excuse me. So I would at least cut this, but I mean it's points, so I'd take it. Yeah, there's AMC, but it's Gen 10. I don't really care if he takes my titanium at this point. I would just take it. These cards are all completely garbage. I would take caretaker contracts, but it doesn't matter. Adaptation tech is mass converter, but at this point, our hand is kind of empty. Events, we are at 9, so Media Archives is +1 cash, so not really worthwhile. I guess I would still take adaptation tech, but it does let us like play mangrove and trees a little earlier, so I would do that, I think. Yeah. Sadly, it doesn't let us play Martian Survey. A bit too far away. But I'd take Adaptation Tech and Phobos, and missing the TG already. Yeah, Predators nom nom nomin in the IO mining industries. Oh boy, that is... The Gen 10 IO mining industries is a thing to see, but JD's got to kind of sit there and take it. He doesn't have any heat control, and opponent can just keep playing the Jofmolts, I guess. Alright, I don't hate the SP City. Since you don't have any way of controlling the game end here, you do need to start monopolizing space that your plant prod can score. So SP City there, I think makes a lot of sense. You can also consider SP City here. I don't think there's really another spot I'm eager to SP another city on. Yeah, opponent SP cities there, which I think if JD could have afforded it, it would have been nice to have SP City'd and just taken all that real estate. I think opponent is correct in blocking off a good scoring move from JD, since JD seems to not have much better to do than SP City. Just continue to fight it, drag the game out, hope to find some more Jofmolts, win the game, I think is the opponent's plan. Okay, that's maybe a bit much. JD does have pets, so every SP City you're doing is giving him half a point. Right there, that was already not a very good spot for a city for him. Yeah, I get it, you get some adjacencies yourself, but I think that's a lot of money that you might need in the future. That's not really quite good enough at this stage, to me. Adaptation tech comes down, we can play trees now. Opponent plays some power. Yeah. Both pass and on to the next gen. Alright. Ice Asteroid is very good for getting us out of this game. Fish is one of those cards that I'm always a little bit scared to pass, but it ain't that big of a deal. Problem is, MedLab is quite good for both of us, but we have 28 steel that we've not been able to spend because we went all over for steel and didn't focus on power, and now we're paying the price. I think you gotta take Ice Asteroid. It's too efficient. It's too strong. You don't want your opponent to be able to get greenery conversions on their terms. Takes Medlab, which I think is okay if you're planning on Banker, but yeah, I'm not necessarily wanting to fund Banker at this moment. Noctis City is incredible because it's a way to spend our steel, and it is another city point for pets. So, very happy to take Noctis City here. Not sure what our opponent took over it. Fish is not that good for us because opponent can just eat it, and we don't have control of the heat track. I think fish is okay for the opponent, but I would prefer a Great Dam for ourselves just because we have a bajillion D steel we need to spend. So I would take Great Dam here. Yeah, I agree. And buy all the building tags. Got to spend all the steel. All right. So Landlord makes sense, I think. Though you can get a little degen, but I think Landlord is safe enough. Scientist, I also think is safe enough, with the exception of we don't know where that research is, and our opponent has 10 cards in hand. So that could get a little dicey. With that double fund. I do agree you can't really fund Miner. Opponent has 12 prod to your 7, which is funny. That Mining Guild is getting outproduced there. And Banker's too volatile. So I do somewhat agree with the funds, but you're committing to, like Gen 13 now by spending 34 money on that, which means we might give our opponent more time to find the Jove Molts, which could be problematic. Okay, they play the Ice Asteroid. It's a very good card for them. They convert here on 7-5. Yeah, that's fine. Getting the 4 MC back is nice, but I think I'd have been tempted to go more for the points than the cash at this stage of the game. JD converts there, makes sense to cut them off. Trying to make sure your opponent doesn't get the chance to play a capital is my guess there. It's fine. Again, I'd have gone for points, but if your opponent had capital, that'd be devastating, so it's okay to take the cash there. Predators nom-nomming, and we're hating that. Bushes is a little bit late to be played, in my opinion, but whatever. Great Dam. Okay, it's for NRA. Okay, so there's the third plant tag for that. That makes enough sense, but it's Gen 11. It's a little too late. Trying to fight Landlord, but I think we're just down too much as Saturn in order to ever really fight Landlord. But it's okay. I don't know what other cards he has in hand. And Noctis City is a no-brainer with that much steel. SP Ocean. I don't really know if I agree with SP Ocean here. What's that even doing for you? Just making sure that he doesn't get the bonus Ocean next gen, so you're paying 16 for a 2-point swing. Mildly defendable, but I probably wouldn't have. It's just another scenario where that Lake Marineris would have been so much better, right? Okay. Local heat trapping for plants is really interesting. I think that should go on animals. We already have plenty of plant prod, and we don't have that many more spots for greeneries between our cities. We could always SP greeneries if we need to. I think putting that on animals is, on average, going to be worth more. Yeah, the greenery between there, the med lab, yeah, all makes sense. Investment loan into Phobos Space Haven. Going to get that whole 3 mega credits of value, I suppose. Sure. Decomposers, not very good with an empty hand. However, I don't really want to give our opponent a microbe tag in case they have advanced ecosystems. So I would still take Decomposers over Heather in this situation. He takes Heather, so that's just not very good. Insulation does not really do much good for us since we have 0. For him, I would just cut it. I don't really want him to have it. He takes Mineral Deposit, which I'll be honest, neither of us really needs more steel, so I think that is a bit of a blunder. Power grid, I guess, sure. Get our 6 power finally. Yeah, just Heather, and the rest is just kind of garbage. And our hand is kind of garbage, and can we even SP out here? I'm not really sure we even can SP out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 14 is 98. Yeah, we're not even close to SPing out, so I guess we're stuck another gen here, huh? Gen 13 is what I predicted. So we're all converting. He sells his steel. Large convoy going on to Predators is just painful, painful, painful. JD is getting his conversions. The AMC does come down. Makes enough sense. Okay, SP City, I mean, we got nothing else to do. I do agree we just need to keep locking up space wherever we can, especially with pets. SP Greenery, I'm not sure that was so necessary. What's pets at? 14, so yeah, another city doesn't change too much here. Fine. Okay, opponent does an SP City there, which, I'll be honest, 25 for half a point. You know, it's 1 point here, but you're giving your opponent pets, so it's half a point. Not really what I want to do. And then JD does the SP City there to complete the pets point, which it's a terrible move, but there's nothing else better for him. He has nothing to do, and at least it can score a point from Mangrove. So it's a 2-point city. So 3 points for 25? Could be worse. Decomposers does come down. We'll see if the advanced ecosystems comes. Okay, viral enhancers is funny. I don't really love the idea of giving our opponent a science tag because of scientist, but GIA, while it's less efficient than SPing to asteroids, does, for the low cost of 4 mega credits, destroy 6 plants from our opponent, so I think that is probably worth it. Mag field is a point, so we take it. These don't matter too much. Just cut the biomass. Just take GIA and mag field. I think the plant hate justifies the 4 mega credits. Yeah. Blows up the plants. And Deimos down. You blow up my plants, I blow up yours. The downside to that play is the Thermalist heat is kind of wasted here. They paid a lot of titanium in order to kill his plants, which, you know, he's got 1, 2, 3 spots that he could score on. So he gets 1 conversion already, and then he gets 2 more. So I'm not convinced that his plants were really worth the Deimos there. I think in that situation it is better just to use your heat and save your money for actually playing any space cards that you have. And I hope you have a Jove, because otherwise you might be in some trouble. SP Greenery for neutral points, just trying to get the plants soaked up that he might need in order to get another conversion with the Mangrove and the Mag Fuel Dome, perhaps. That gets him to 28. That's not enough for a conversion, but it does play around fish a little bit. Nom Nom, those Predators being quite nice. Viral is a microbe tag. For Decomposers, Mangrove comes down, 2-point card from the greenery there, plus the 1 point on the card, 3 points total, quite nice. Robo Workforce on Martian Industries, I don't understand that. Like, it's 3 science tags, so I guess it's for AI Central, which, okay, but not thrilled about paying 9 for that, but sure. JD does another SP Greenery, so you know he's donezo for his money. That's he's already going to be getting 2 more greeneries. So I mean that's why I'm not really sure that blowing up his plants was that impactful overall there, compared to the money that you could have had otherwise. Okay, fish is played. This is why JD probably prioritized some of the plants, so they were not necessary. Viral adds a point to it. Ganymede colony comes down. Okay. Does trigger pets. Is that another point on pets, though? It is not. Okay. SP greenery. Plus 1 point there. Media archives. Plus 11 cash. Into SP greenery there. And sells all his cards and it's 19 money. So yeah, let's like go back here and let's look at this, right? I have to scroll down a little bit here, but it's important to make the point. So Deimos down is what he played, right? 24 plus 7, 31 cash he played when he could have at least raised it just twice, right? Can just raise the asteroids twice. And then with that, you could then have an extra 31 cash, so you're at 50. With your 50, you could then SP a greenery. You are at 27, is that right? Yeah, 27. Well, you wouldn't have bought Deimos either, though I don't know if he bought it or not. Let's say he bought it. So if you don't buy that, then the math all works out, because then you would have enough to SP twice. You would win Thermalist, or if you SP 3 times, it's 11 to 12. So yeah, you can't take 3 heat. So you would have to SP twice. So skipping Deimos, not playing it at all, doing just 1 heat raise and then 2 SP asteroids would actually be plus 2 points probably, I think. But it's a tie game. Green gets 3 points for this placement. JD gets 2 points plus 3, but here is a really interesting, very, very rare situation. Only when bad players, like JD, are letting the game go to Gen 13. So the first player is always the one that places his greeneries on Mars. If there are no legal places, you cannot place a greenery. That means that JD is going to place his greeneries on Mars, meaning that Death Chain here with his perfect 8 plants is not going to be able to place his final greenery. Also, meaning that killing those plants with Deimos ultimately didn't matter because JD's still going to be filling up Mars. And because of that, while Death Chain would be getting 3 points and JD would be getting 2 normally, because JD gets to put his greenery first, then he's getting 3 points and Death Chain's only getting 2 points. So because of the turn order on the final generation, Death Chain is kind of screwed out of getting 1 point. And because of that quirk of the rules, JD wins by 1 point. So yeah, I think have you ever seen a 17-point pets? Because I had the inkling it'd be good this game, but I did not expect 17 pets on it. Jeez Louise. Takeaways from this game, I hope by now you realize that Mining Guild needs power. Power is very good. Always take power if you can. Maybe a little bit aware about the quirk about the rules, which can come into play sometimes, as you've seen, when it comes to a full board. And Predators is a dangerous card to pass when you don't have heat control. I would not pass it for stinking Equatorial Magnetizer. And lastly, TG is just a fine card. Even here with 1 Jove tag and 1 Wild tag, it was 5 points, right? when you have very few cards in hand, you should buy any big point bombs that you can. If he'd bought TG, then it'd have been a lot cleaner of a win. But as is, he barely scraped by just because of a quirk of the rules. So that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I think we're getting close to the end of the arena season, so if any top arena players have any close games here at the end that they would like to share, we can take a look at that as we see who ends up winning the crown. Probably not me. I realized that I was caring too much about my elo and was taking losses too seriously, which meant that I was not having fun. I do this as a hobby to have fun. If I'm taking it too seriously, it is not good. It's a mental model I need to fix. Hopefully I will eventually be able to fix it. But yeah, not enough that I wanted to participate in this season with the Bazaar and Metaphor being played through right now still. So anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.